Hey guys, today we're going to talk about our next part of the standard, which is called sector area. So we've been dealing with arc length. So arc length is the distance of how long the arc is. So how long is AB if I took a ruler and measured it? The way that we found that was using circumference. So then we took the distance all the way around a circle and we multiplied it by a fraction of the central angle over 360. So our formula was central angle divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r, where 2 pi r is the circumference. And now instead of going the distance along the arc, we're going to find the area inside a sector. And what a sector is just a fancy word to say like the section or like the part of the circle. So we're talking about the area of that shaded green part of the circle. So sector area is going to deal with area. So let's take a step back and refresh on what area is. So when we did volume, we talked about the area of a circle was pi r squared. So remember pi, we're going to use our pi button. The radius is the distance from the center of the circle out to the side. And when we square it, it's when we multiply by itself. So the area of the circle would be pi times 5 squared, because 5 is our radius. Plugging it into our calculator, we got pi times 5 squared is 25. You get 78.5398, so on. So we round that to 78.54 centimeters squared. So now back to sector area. We want not the area of the whole circle, just the area of that part that's 100 degrees. So our formula looks almost exactly like arc length. We're going to start with our central angle divided by 360. And now instead of multiplying by circumference, we're going to multiply by area, so times pi r squared. It's not going to be any harder than arc length. It's just going to be the end of the formula is just a little bit different. So let's go through how to solve this. So our central angle is 100 degrees. Our radius is 5, so I went and plugged those into our formula. And then just plug it into your calculator. 100 divided by 360 times pi times 5 squared. You should get about 21.82. So go ahead and put that in your calculator. Make sure you get this answer. And that's the whole thing. So we're going to go through a couple problems. So go ahead and pause the video and try to solve for the area of this sector. Remember, our first step is always writing down our formula and then plugging in what we know. So we got central angle divided by 360 times pi times r squared. Our central angle is 30 and our radius is 4, so I plugged those in. Then you just plug it into your calculator. 30 divided by 360 times pi times 4 squared. So I've gotten 4.19 feet squared. So here's another one. Pause the video. Try to solve for the area of this sector. So written down your formula, central angle divided by 360 times pi r squared. Plug in your central angle is 225, your radius is 8. Plug that all into your calculator, 225 divided by 360 times pi times 8 squared. You get 125.66 centimeters squared. All right, so I'm going to do one more with you. Solve for the area of this sector. So pause the video, try to find the area of the purple section. All right, so I did try to trick you. I didn't give you the central angle for the purple part. I gave you the central angle for the white part. So what you should have done was taken 360, which is a whole circle, subtracted the 60, and found out that the central angle for the shaded section is actually 300 degrees. So 300 divided by 360 times pi times radius squared, your radius is 2. Plug that into your calculator, you get 10.47 inches squared, and that's sector area. Right? It's not any different than arc length. Just make sure that you're using the right part of the formula. So if you're doing arc length, that's 2 pi r. If you're doing sector area, that's pi r squared. So watch out on your exit ticket because I did put the answer for arc length in there. Don't pick it. Make sure you're doing pi r squared. So hopefully you're feeling pretty good. Tomorrow, just like with arc length, we're going to solve for the angle and the radius by working backwards. It's going to be a little bit more complicated because we've got that squared. But for your exit ticket today, you just got to be able to solve for arc length, or for sector area. So you got central angle divided by 360 times pi r squared. If you have any questions, you can email me or join me for office hours from 12 to 1 today. Good luck.